Hello and welcome to episode 82 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from my studio here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. I hope you enjoy seeing what I have to share today. It's probably going to be a little bit of a quicker episode. I really wanted to get this out so that I could award some prizes today. There'll be 6 prizes in all awarded. 3 for the Harry Potter knit-along and 3 for the toy-along. Both knit-alongs that are currently going on in our Victorian Studio podcast group over on Ravelry. But more about each one in a few minutes. First of all, I wanted to say thank you very much to Marlisha and Talia of the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast for always mentioning my podcast and the knit-alongs that are going on in my group. Thank you very much, ladies. It's very appreciated. And thank you also for inviting me to participate and co-host once again in the toy-along for the 4th year in a row. I'm just so thrilled with all the participation and projects that I've seen in both knit-alongs, but especially the toy-along that just started. Such adorable projects being submitted over there. So instead of having you wait until the end of the episode to award the prizes, I thought I would kick off the episode with doing all the drawings at the beginning. So first, let's award 3 prizes for the Harry Potter knit-along. This is the 2nd year. This started the current year, January 1st, and goes all the way to December the 31st. So if you haven't participated yet and you would like to join us, please do. Just head over to my group on Ravelry. There's links below so that you can head over there and get all the information on how to join us and which prizes you'll be eligible for. So for today, I drew from random.org from posts number 2 to 1147. That's 1147. That's all the posts from January to the end of October. So we have 3 prizes to award today from those eligible entries. And the first one is a $10 US or less giftable Ravelry pattern of your choice. And the winner of this prize is post number 414. And that's Mary, the Needle Nook. Congratulations, Mary. When you've decided which pattern you would like, just let me know over in Ravelry in a PM, and I will gift that to you, so congrats. And the second prize for the Harry Potter knit-along today is for a platform 9 3/4 Progress Keeper, and that's a little charm that I made up from a charm that I got online. And this goes to post number 737, and that's Jodediah. So congratulations, Jody. When you see this, just send me your mailing address and I will get that out to you. And the third prize for the Harry Potter knit-along today is for the set of Harry Potter charms that I put together. These are 7 charms. There's 1 Progress Keeper, that's an owl, and then 6 stitch markers. And there's a picture of these on the thread, but there's a scarf, a lightning bolt, a chess piece, a cauldron, and 2 other owls. So that whole set goes to post number 674, and that's Lucy. So congratulations, Lucy. When you see this, please send me your mailing address and I'll get those out to you as soon as I can. So congrats to all of the people who are continuing to win prizes in the Harry Potter knit-along. Thank you so much for all the participation and chatter over on those threads. It's been great seeing all the continued projects and activity over there. So thank you so much. And there'll be another set of prizes given out for entries to the end of November. Those will be awarded in the next episode, probably early December. And then at year end, that'll be in the new year, I will do the final large prize draws for the entire year. So thank you very much to everyone who is continuing to be active in that thread. Okay, the next set of prizes that I want to award today are for the Pen, Hook and Needles Toy Along. And as I said before, this is the 4th year that I've been honored to co-host with the lovely ladies over at the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast, Talia and Marlisha. And before I award the prizes, I thought I would continue on in my tradition of showing you just some of the adorable entries that are being posted over there. So enjoy. Yeah, it's always so much fun to see what everybody comes up with during these knit-alongs each year. So the next episode I'll have some more entries to show you as well. So on to the prizes for October. As I mentioned in the thread for the Toy Along, I'll be awarding 3 prizes every month for the Toy Along. The first one is for a $10 US or less giftable Ravelry pattern. And that for October, I drew from posts 2 to 184 for these prizes. That was from October 1st to October 31st. And so the $10 Ravelry pattern goes to post number 142, and that is Allison Roseboom. So congratulations, Allison. When you decide which pattern you would like, let me know via PM over on Ravelry, and I'll be sure to gift that to you. So congrats. The second prize that I have today for the Toy Along is a charm of your choice from my Etsy shop, the Victorian Studio Shop, over on Etsy. So the winner of that is post number 24, Mimouna, M-I-M-O-U-N-A. So when you've decided which charm you would like from my shop, just let me know via a private message over on Ravelry, and I'll send that out to you. So congratulations. And the third and final prize for today is a teddy bear progress keeper. or stitch marker. And these I've made up for the knit-along, for the toy knit-along, and I've also made a few extras I'll talk about a little bit later. But this little teddy bear charm goes to post number 51, and that's Vonnie, Studio Von Design. So congratulations, Vonnie. When you see this, again, send me your address, and I will get that out to you in the mail as soon as I can. So congratulations to all 6 winners today. I hope you enjoy your prizes, and I'm looking forward to drawing again in the next episode for even more for both knit-alongs. So congratulations. Okay, so let's get to the knitting. I don't have a lot to share with you today, but there are 3 projects I currently have on the needles, none of which are completed yet, but I thought I'd share with you at least my progress to date. The first one is for a challenge that is up for November, the main challenge in the O-Loops Harry Potter knit-along. This is the O-Loops sessions for Hogwarts from October to December. This is the 6th year that Lydia at O-Loops has been holding these. They're kind of like back to school for Harry Potter. And as you can tell, I'm definitely Gryffindor. So for the main challenge for November, I decided to do what's called a dragon's tail scarf. And I haven't got a whole lot done on this yet. I just started it a few days ago because it's been pretty busy. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But for the O-Loops knit-along, if you use O-Loops yarn in your main and extra curricular challenges, you get to play for extra points for your house. So again, for this project, I am using an O-Loops yarn called A Wizard's Life. And this is a beautiful variegated yarn by Lydia. It's 490 yards of 100% superwash merino. So I got this, I believe, last year or the year before. It wasn't one that I got this year. But I thought I would just do something very simple and plain because it's so variegated. I started out by trying to do a shawl that had quite a lacy pattern to it. And it really wasn't showing up with this highly variegated yarn. So I decided to do something more simple. And so I found this free pattern on Ravelry called Drachenschwanz. And that is German for dragon's tail, which fit the challenge for November just perfectly. It was in German though, and her English wasn't very good, so it was translated by another Ravelry member, OMG Apples. And it is a very simple pattern, very reminiscent of the Hitchhiker. I can't remember who that's by, but I've done the Hitchhiker. Everybody's done the Hitchhiker, it seems. So as I said, it's very similar to that. It's a free pattern, obviously. But as I said, I just got started on this because I did frog the first attempt at doing a project for this challenge. So this is it so far, so you get an idea. You start with just a couple of stitches at the very tip, and then you do these. They look like teeth or dragon scales on a dragon's tail. So I think this is just a garter stitch pattern that shows up the coloring of the yarn really well. And it will get larger and larger as I go along. It gradually increases, I think just by a couple of stitches every section, but it's very, very simple. All garter stitch. I mean, this is just potato chip knitting, which is great. So I can watch podcasts or YouTube videos or TV or take it for lunch and get some work on it. So I have to have this finished by the end of November though. So that's why it was good to get something just very simple that I can definitely get done in the next few weeks, because it seems like the weeks are getting quicker and quicker with everything else that's going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more and more done out of that. So let's see. Besides that project for the Harry Potter knit along, there's another, the second project that I'm doing is also for the O-Loops group, Harry Potter knit along, and that is a project that I started in October and have right to the end of the year to complete. So what I decided to do was a scarf, and it was using up some yarn that was left over from making actually my Quidditch sweater. So as you can see, I believe I showed this the last episode that I completed it, and I had a fair amount of Knit Picks yarn left over, so I thought a matching Gryffindor house scarf would be great. So that's what I started a few weeks ago. So I again used my Charmed Knits book for the pattern, and that's the Alison Hansel book of patterns. It's out of print, but it's for Harry Potter patterns. And this house scarf is the year 1 to 2 version, which is just blocks of your house colors. And for Gryffindor, it's like a burgundy and gold. So what I thought I would do is just begin it all in stockinette and in the round, and that way it was a double thick scarf, and as you can see it's growing. I of course will add some fringe onto the end once it's done, but I would say I'm over half done. I want it nice and big, and as I said, using up all of my leftover yarn. So very, very simple, just in the round, stockinette stitch, but it's going to be so nice and warm. And the great thing about this is I'm not even counting rows. It's basically 4-inch blocks of colors, and then you change. So all I did was, at the beginning I measured that it was what was 4 inches. But now when I want to see when I'm going to need to change to another color, I just fold it and look to see how much more I have to do in that color, and then a switch. So I'm not even bothering being that accurate, being that exact. It's just approximate. So yeah, it's something so easy to do. I can just take this wherever I want. Don't need a pattern. Just keep knitting and knitting until it's long enough, or when I run out of yarn, whichever comes first. But as I said at the end, I will add some tassels, some fringe onto each end as well. So this is going to be a great scarf, nice and warm, and matching my my sweater. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that done. But as I said, I have until the end of December to get that project completed. Okay, so the last one that I wanted to share with you today is a project that I just started on Saturday, and that's for the Pinhook and Needles Toy Along. I thought I better get going with my toy project, so I had decided on a pattern a little while ago, but didn't actually get it on the needles until Saturday, and I did a lot of knitting yesterday and this morning to get it where it is now. So I'm almost done, but probably the next episode I'll show you the completed toy. So that's in my my polar bear bag that I made myself out of some designed fabric from my own design of my polar bear that I drew myself. So I thought it was very appropriate because the toy that I decided to do is a polar bear. So I went on to Ravelry, and I found a pattern that's actually quite a few years old but hardly has any projects. And I think it's because this toy is knit flat and sewed up, and it's probably something that not a lot of people like to do now. But I thought I would give it a try because the resultant bear is just so darn cute. And if you've been watching my episodes for a while, you'll know last year I did a little Santa mouse. Well, this year I'm doing a Santa polar bear. So this pattern is by Amanda Berry, good name, Berry. And as I said, it's knit flat and then sewn up. I have made a few little changes myself that I've put on my pattern or my project page. So if you want the details of that, you can just head over to Ravelry and check it out. But I have a variety of yarns. I'll show you first that I'm using for this. The first one is some Bear Knit Picks Imagination yarn. This is just the label and some other yarn that I dyed up from the group of the whole skein of Imagination yarn. I'm not using the grays. This is, I believe, I did for my Hedwig owl. This is the Bear Imagination yarn, and as I said, it's from Knit Picks. It's a fingering weight, 50% merino wool, 25% superfine alpaca, and 25% nylon. So it is quite a thin yarn, especially for a toy. So I'm just using US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needles to get a little bit of a tighter gauge on this. This pattern, the way it's written, it said that it's if you use the yarn and the needles they suggest, it's a fairly tall polar bear at 25 centimeters in height, but mine isn't as big because I'm using the smaller needles and thinner yarn. So the Imagination is for the main body of the polar bear. I also have some, I think this is just some Cascade black that I needed to use. I'm going to probably be using some of my Dreams in Fiber. I still have a little bit left over. Erica Luder's Golden Snitch colorway. I love this yarn. I use it for all kinds of things, but I love the little golden highlights in it, the stellina in it. So I think I'll probably be using that for the buckle, which I haven't done yet. And then for his main clothes, I'm using this Barocco Fiora. I just love this color, and it's such a nice deep red. And I'm hoping I have enough left, because all I have left to do is his jacket, but it does have a hood, so I'm hoping I have enough remaining to finish with that. To line the jacket along the edges to make like the little furry tops of the pants and the sleeves and around the jacket, I decided to use some of this Rowan Boucle yarn. I got this back in 2015 when I did one of my first toys, a little lamb, and it's a bugger to knit with, but it's great effect when you do knit with it. And this is raw color, like it's undyed. So with all of those, I can show you at least my little Santa polar bear so far. So there he is. So what you do is you basically make the body first. You start with one leg, then the other, and then you make the body, sew it up, and obviously stuff it. And then you do the head. I've used some safety eyes in his head, and then just use the Cascade yarn for his nose and a little bit of a kind of a mouth. And yeah, so then you do the ears and the arms, which I've made movable as I usually do, and then you go on to make his clothes. So far I've just got his pants done, but there's the boucle yarn for the edging of the pants, and then he has little suspenders, and in the pattern they still knit them flat you do a big long row and then just cast off right away. Well, instead of doing that, I just did a couple of I-cords and put them on, and then I had a couple of brads that look like little buttons, so I just added those. They were just in my scrapbooking supplies, little metal brads, so I added those just for the bottom of his suspenders. So as I said, all I have left to do now is his jacket, and hopefully I have enough yarn left over that I can finish him up in the next few days, and then he'll be done. So I'm really pleased with that, and I think he'll make a good match with my little Santa mouse that I did last year. So yeah, lots of fun. It's always so much fun to do toys. I really enjoy doing them, and I don't mind at all sewing up. Some people find it quite fiddly. I don't mind at all. I mean, I could have done the arms in the round, but I decided to follow the pattern mostly this time and just see how it would turn out. So as I said, there's a few things that I have changed, but that's all listed in my project page on Ravelry. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was the Etsy shop. If you haven't watched the podcast before, you may not know that I do have an Etsy shop to sell my polymer clay charms. They are designed to be used for either knitters or crocheters as progress keepers or stitch markers, but they're also charms that can be hung anywhere, zipper pulls, bag embellishments, that kind of thing. So I have a link below to the shop, the Victorian Studio shop, over on Etsy, or you can find it by going to my main website at victorianstudio.com. So Daughter and I participated in our last craft show of the year last weekend. So it's been very busy for the last couple of weeks preparing for that, getting the stock all ready and everything else that's needed to vend at a show. So we had a great time. It was very, very busy, but I'm glad to have it over for the year because it is a lot of work. So now that show is over, I've restocked my Etsy shop with some more items and also added a couple of new items to the shop. One of them I've already done. The other hopefully will have done by the time this is posted. As I'm recording, I haven't yet added it to the shop, but hopefully in the next day or so they will be up. So those are a couple of items that you've seen before, but I didn't have up in my shop previously. I was holding the stock for the craft shows, and the first one is these little sets of grapes, bunches of grapes. So one is both in gold tone findings and silver tone findings of red grapes and green grapes. So I've made these into the Progress Keepers stitch markers with the lobster clasp. You can use them for both with the lobster clasp and the rings. So as I said, they're already posted in the Etsy shop. And the other new item that I have in the shop is the teddy bears. So these, I've made a few both in silver and gold, and these will be up in the shop in the next day or so. So these were great fun to make for the Pen, Hook and Needles Toy Along as prizes. I'm awarding 3 throughout the CAL, and if you don't win them, you'll be able to purchase them on my shop. So I'll hopefully have those up in the next day or so. But what I wanted to do for the viewers of the podcast is to give you a little advance notice. If you are planning on shopping at the shop, maybe you want to hold off for a couple of weeks, because I will let you know I will be participating in a Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend sale. And this will be the deepest discounts I've ever done on my charms over there. I'm going to have specials on shipping. I'm going to have percentages off for levels of purchases. And I'm going to be giving away free gifts with every purchase. So if you are thinking about treating yourself, or maybe a crafty friend or a family member who might like a little whimsical charm for the holidays, you might want to check out the shop then for Black Friday. I will announce the exact dates and all the details of the sale on my Instagram page. So if you go to victorianstudio.com, there is a link there to my Instagram page. So check that out, and just in the next week or so, I'll be posting all the details of the big sale that I'll be having over Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So yeah, for my viewers, I thought I would just give you that heads up, that if you are planning on purchasing anything, hold off and save yourself some money, because as I said, this is going to be the biggest sale that I've ever done in the shop. So I hope you can take advantage of that. So I guess that's it for this episode. As usual, I'll have a slideshow at the end of some images of things that have been going on around here over the last few weeks. I also wanted to send out thoughts to Vonnie, our moderator over in the Victorian Studio podcast group on Ravelry. She's been impacted by the wildfires in California, so our thoughts are with you and any other Californian who has been impacted by these terrible wildfires. I hope that you're okay and that you're staying safe for both you, your family, your loved ones, and all your furry family members as well. So stay safe, and I hope everything ends very soon for you, and that everybody is okay over there. So our thoughts are with you. So until the next episode, I hope you'll check out the Ravelry group for both the Harry Potter knit-along and toy knit-alongs. So if you'd like to join us, if you haven't already, please do. And I'll be doing some more prize drawings for both knit-alongs in the next episode, probably in another couple of weeks' time, early December. So until then, thank you so much for joining me in my studio today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I had to share, even though it wasn't a whole lot this episode. I hope you'll come back next time to visit with me again in my studio. So until then, take care, everyone, and bye-bye.